This is your brain. And this
is your brain on Tom.
Wee woo, no time for intros, motherfuckers. It is E3. Hello. Hi, it's Tom. How's it going? Big ass E3 show up in this bitch. Got lots of video games, lots of thoughts on the video games, and so I'm here to talk about them. I'm very excited. Things have just been happening. Busy. Got a lot going on. Might be starting a new job, so or maybe not. Who knows? So, a lot of things going on in Castle des Hommes, but if anyone has a job and you want little old me, let me know. So a lot of video games, which is the important thing, the reason we're all here. So, I have some thoughts. So, I'm going to go through, I have a list over here on my second monitor, because I'm no peasant. I must have 3 or 2. I could have a third one, but, why? 2 is fine. So yeah, there's just a whole bunch of happening. It was super cool. I enjoyed watching a lot of them. I watched every press conference except for all of PC. I had it on mute for a long time, and then just kind of looked over occasionally, but not a ton of stuff. So what are you gonna do? But otherwise, I had seen with my peepers everything. So we're just going to start. We're going to do EA right now. I'm looking at this list. Could I have done my own list? Sure. Did I? No. I see nothing. I mean, they did the Jedi game, but they talked about it so little. And it could be cool. I don't know. They cancel shit right and left with that franchise. Who the fuck knows? And they only had it was an interview, so it wasn't really they hadn't even had much shit to show. So who knows? The Command and Conquer thing was atrocious. I'm not even a huge fan of that franchise, but if I was, oh boy, would I not be happy. That was just, it was nice seeing Control. I like In Control. He's a wonderful little guy, but I was just what do you do? They had the whole they stopped the show to have these 2 dudes play this fucking phone game. No, thank you. That was a huge mistake. But otherwise, I don't give a fuck about anything else that EA had to talk about. I mean, there was Anthem, kind of, but I couldn't care less. It's hard to care. I don't care. It looked dumb. No. So that was stupid. EA was okay. Shout out to Andrew and A for running the joint, but that was the only positive of that show. It was dumb otherwise. There was nothing worth talking about. There was a lot of Battlefield stuff and sports stuff, and they had some guy who was the Madden champion show up with he had a little title belt, and then some other guy who I think was a professional football player. I'm a nerd. I don't know these things. He came on and they were just talking about hey, you gonna win again? And he was sure am. And that was it. I don't even know why. It was a waste of time. That show was poorly paced. And I was watching it on a watch along stream because I really didn't care that much about EA. I doubted they would have showed anything I would have really cared about. So if someone was talking over a part of it, I wasn't oh my god, what? I was who cares? And one of the people in that chat was you'd think EA would understand how to do this by now. And I'm yeah, you think they would? You think they would have figured it out by now? How to do this? But yeah, that was stupid. We're gonna move on to Microsoft, which is a great job. They did a good job. Not a I wasn't blown away everyone's saying Microsoft won, and they were great, but they did not announce any exclusives at all. They're still making it it was Microsoft was the pre-show for Sony for me. It was just here's stuff that you're gonna be able to play on the system you already have. Don't bother with our thing. Or if you can't play it on this, you got the fancy PC, go do it there. I still have no reason to purchase an Xbox. I don't know, they just do, they're so weird over there. But they announced some phenomenal, the stuff they announced, dope as shit. It was dope city. Things they did the Shadows Die Twice thing, and I'm not a From Software fan, at all. I don't like FromSoft. The only game I've enjoyed was Bloodborne, but even that, I have no intention of going back, ever. The only one thing I've considered doing, and I don't think I'd finish the game, is just going on a whip build and pretend I'm playing a cool little new Castlevania thing. But otherwise, I don't care. Not for me. This moves way faster. The Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, which is the thing they revealed. Was it last year? Or was it like the Game Awards? They did a Shadows Die Twice thing. It was a little tease. That was cool. It was really fast. You had like a little grappling hook arm. I thought that was dope. That would be something that's far more up my alley of like what I want to play. Of that like style of like that speed and all that kind of shit. So that looked cool. They had Fallout 76. This website I'm looking at says reveal trailer, but we already knew about it, so I don't know what that means. Was it more? Was that no? They had more at Bethesda. I don't know. That was weird. Yeah, it was cool. I guess it seems like it'd be a lot of fun. The Bethesda thing went into it more, with how it like works. And if you had a squad, it would be kind of fun to roll up with a couple of people, have a little fort that you guys work on, and go and scavenge the wastes and fight another little faction and shoot nukes at each other. And it was a cute idea. And like at first I was like, well, the nuke thing was kind of a cool idea. Like basically there's like little missile silos across the map. The map's supposedly humongous. And you can launch the nukes at other settlements from other players or just other little places and like turn an area into like a nuclear waste site. And then if you want, you can, I guess like when I first heard that, like they kind of stopped at that point. And I was like, why would you ever want to do that? Like, besides being a dick and just wanting to have fun and fuck with another team, like, I don't understand why you'd ever want to do this. But they started saying, like, certain things you could only find there were there. Like, if you nuked it, certain enemies would show up who have certain resources, or maybe you need some kind of radioactive thing. So you'd probably, and maybe that's just me as a player, I started min-maxing it in my head. I'm like, well, you could just, like, fire it off into, like, a forest somewhere. Like, what is it about hitting a settlement or people that you want to do? So I don't know. We'll see where that goes. It sounds kind of fun, but like, let me back this up. So like in Metal Gear Solid 5, they have you can build a nuke. And then like your nuke, and then when you go to the multiplayer, which is you invading someone else's forward operating base, you could disarm their nuke. And like it had like it was like this gameplay feature of like, nuclear deterrence, Metal Gear stuff, but like you actually did as a player. So players would build stuff, players would break stuff down, and in every platform except for PC, because people could mod as many nukes on as they wanted. So like the numbers were whack for the PC when they released them, but like everyone else just didn't do it. Like everyone just kind of had like a disarmament naturally. Partially too, because it's a nightmare to make one, but like I never even attempted to make one. But like I also never wanted to. So like I don't like there's no reason to. I don't think that at release there was a reason to do it. So I was curious when they first said like, hey, you can go find a missile silo. Like, is there a reason to do this, or is it just because like you can? Like but like them saying there's like rarer resources in like nuclear fallout spots makes sense. But even then, we'll see how valuable it is. You might only have to do it like 3 times, get what you need, and never do it again, and then just kind of defend ones from other players if you want. Like, I don't know, we'll see. And like it's like a pseudo MMO where there are servers, but like I don't know if you're logging onto a server and what you do with that. Like, is your character permanent on that server? Do you just jump around servers with your squad? I don't know. We'll see how it plays out, but it could be cool. It could be stupid as fuck. It could just be Fallout 4 multiplayer, which theoretically would make it better, but not fun. So who knows? They had the new Ori and the Blind Forest game at Microsoft. I never played the first one. I don't really care. I know people are really into it, and some of my friends that I'd seen on Facebook were like, oh, I'm really excited for this, but not for me. They had a new Metro game, which I still have yet to play. I think I own all of the Metro games. I've still never played any of them. I don't even know what the fuck. And then what else? Did they say anything else interesting on this? Oh, Black Desert is getting a console release. That's kind of cool. People seem to like that game, but apparently MMO fans hate it. I have no idea. I still haven't played it yet. I have a friend who plays it, and he says it's kind of fun, but I guess if you go like long term, go like all the way, it gets like obnoxious or something. So I don't know. I just recently started playing. I say playing, but like realistically, I booted up once. Guild Wars 2, because I bought it when it came out, and it's like you only pay for it once. It's not a subscription MMO. You pay the whatever it was $60 at the time. It's probably closer to $40 for the base game now. I haven't looked because I don't have to, because like, obviously you just buy it the one time and then your account is just active. And I don't know what the DLC or the expansions added. I know one expansion I think pushed the level cap to something. I don't remember what the number is. I want to say the base level cap is 80, and I think it may put it to 100 or 90. I don't know though. And then the second one was story. I looked it up. There was a thing I was looking on Reddit, and it was like, buy this DLC if you want this, buy this DLC if you want this, or get both if you want everything. I can't remember what the differences were, but that game's kind of fun. I forgot how fun it was. I was just kind of like running around and like, I'm just gonna do bullshit, 'cause who gives a fuck? Because like a lot of it is like running around, just like it's kind of weird. It's like a predecessor to all of the major all of the new MMO like things, like no level requirement for a zone, and quests are done as a group and that kind of stuff. It's basically like doing actually, honestly, it's closer to Legion, WoW Legion, the whole game, than anything I've ever done. Like the whole world, there's like, it's WoW does it now, where there's certain zones have like level cutoffs, where it's like the early levels only go from like, I forget what the number is, like 1 to 20, for example. So the starting zone, you can do every starting zone from 1 to 20. If you, for some reason, really wanted to, you are inclined. It'll keep you up on level. You won't be losing XP. And then the next zone would be like 21 to 60 or something. Like they have little cutoffs, and then Outland and Northrend are 61 to 80, and you can do them in any order. And then, whatever, and it keeps going from there. And then, but like Guild Wars, that it's 1 to, I guess, 80 or whatever the cap is for the whole game. Every fucking zone, except for maybe actually no, I think some zones had base level requirements, because I think they were story directed. Like you could show up there if you wanted to walk there. You sure as fuck could. And there's no mounts in this game. I think there are now, but at the time of being first playing this, there weren't. And yeah, you'd like walk into a zone, and there was like a reason I think you had to go there. So some of them would be kind of neutered if you didn't go with the story or something. I forget. I barely got into it. I think the highest character I got was like 34 or something, and like I walked into my friend's room during college when they were playing it, and they were like fighting a dragon or some shit. So that game might get crazy and cool, but I never got to it. But it's a free MMO that I bought when that game came out. I was a sophomore in college, so it's been out for years now, and I just own it. So I was like, I'm just gonna put this on because it's a fun little thing to do. So I've been enjoying it though. But like the 10 seconds I've been playing it. What was I talking about? Oh, Black Desert Online. So apparently that one's good, but when you get like deep into it, it's not as good. What else is there on here? Jump Force. All right, we're just gonna go straight into the anime stuff, because they did like Gears of War 5, Dying Light, Cyberpunk 2077 was there. That game looks really cool, but everyone is saying that is apparently the game that if you're at E3 right now, you're told murder someone with a ticket because you have to see this fucking game. So that one's apparently gonna be just absolutely bananas, and like everyone that's there is losing their fucking mind over this game, because it's playable at E3, but it's behind closed doors, so you need like a ticket or whatever. So that game, Cyberpunk, the new CD Projekt Red, the people who did The Witcher, their new game. Apparently it's the tits McGee. But yeah, I'm just getting right into the anime stuff. Nier Automata is coming to Xbox, but whatever. I never played any of the other ones. I have them all. I haven't played them yet. But the big one, Tales of Vesperia and Jump Force were the two big anime announcements here. They had Kingdom Hearts, but we'll get into that in a bit. Jump Force, I don't know what, I mean, we have a better idea now. It's kind of just a tag anime fighter with all the Shonen Jump characters. So if you're familiar with like the Naruto games, it's that, but with all characters from Shonen Jump. So like what they showed in the trailer, Goku, Naruto, and Luffy. And we all know how I feel about my boy Luffy. So that's cool. It's super pretty. Looks great. It plays like every anime fighter, every 3D anime fighter. A lot of jumping, a lot of dashing, hitting a couple buttons, whatever. Frieza was the thing they were beating up on, and then the trailer ended with Light and Ryuk over a building, which is a cool touch. That's a cool touch that like they're having like weird characters in there. If that's what that show, that's if that's real, and that not just kind of like a story element or something. Like Light is playable, or probably Ryuk and Light. There's like I'm assuming it's more stand-like, where it's like he just doesn't do anything, but then the monster fights for him. Maybe he doesn't know. I don't know. It'd be super cool. I mean, he could fight, kind of, right? He was like somewhat capable hand-to-hand combat. So, but he just couldn't keep up with like Goku or Luffy or Naruto. Like Naruto and Goku are like god tier. Like they couldn't do some crazy shit. So I can't imagine with that. I would be surprised if Bleach doesn't make it in there. Zoro and Sasuke were announced today. That I saw, so they'll be putting out people slowly. Zoro will be a lot of fun to play. I think it'll be a lot of fun. But the big one that the only thing really in here that I lost my mind for was Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition, getting announced. It's gonna be on everything, but Microsoft had it for announcing. That game's awesome. It was originally only released in English in America on the Xbox 360. And that was it. It was the only place you get it. And I own it for that, but I don't have my Xbox 360 here, and it's really fucking cool. The main character, Yuri, is a dope motherfucker. He's got he's got like a sword that he carries like on a string in his sheath. And like his fighting style involves him like unsheathing, and then like he uses like the sheath as a weapon, and then he'll hit you with like the sword part of it, and like it's a lot of him like throwing the sword around and being very, very flashy with it. It's super cool. Just like how his fighting style is like super, super fucking cool. And then his like friend, like his partner, because all the Tales games are multiplayer, like right out of the gate. So you usually start with like 2 characters, or like you get a second character pretty soon afterwards. And the second character for that is a dog named Rapide. He's a dog with a missing eye. He smokes a pipe, and he has a knife in his mouth, and he's so cool. He's a dog named Rapide. It's a super cool game. I was really having fun with it back in college when me and my roommate were playing it, but I think my brother has the Xbox, so I don't have any way of playing this because there's no other version. The PS3 version never got localized. There was never a PC version. There's no way to play it unless you had an Xbox 360, and I just don't have mine around. And occasionally I'm like, man, I'd like to finish that game. We didn't beat it, but I'd like to finish it. I enjoy the cast a lot. They were really fun, and to finally get a version, because it's kind of a joke amongst like fans of this game. I think it was Bandai Europe tweeted like, hey, we'll fucking translate anything, let us know. And someone's like, Tales for Vesperia PS3, and then they respond, no, not that one. Like, they were not, like, there was no sign of this game ever going somewhere interesting, but that'll be on PC, PS4, Xbox One, so that's super hype. I'm so happy that we're getting that game. I want to play it so badly. That game is so cool. Fuck, I love that game. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 was also shown there. It was a new trailer with Arendelle with it's Frozen, and then is there anything else in that trailer? I've watched all 3 trailers that were that's shown at this event 3 or 4 times each, so they're all kind of blurring together. But because 2 of them came out on the same day. Did anything get shown? Larxene being was that the one with Aqua being Norded? Because that was fucking hype, dog. That was so cool. Aqua's been oh god, dude, we'll get into the lore implications of this at one point maybe, but fuck, I was so excited for that. But the announcement, the release day was announced earlier at the Kingdom Hearts orchestra event. That was like the day before, 2 days before. It was right around this time, but like we knew the date of January 29th. If you were like keeping up, like if you like, I follow like so many different, like my Twitter right now is just all Kingdom Hearts basically, just blown right. It's Kingdom Hearts, and like it's crazy. So I love, but even when there's not announcements, I always see what's happening like right away. And I think it's even gotten to the point where my phone will just be like, hey, Kingdom Hearts stuff, and like, thank you phone, I'd like to know this. So it was cool. I'm very excited for the whole Aqua thing, and it's funny too because someone asked Nomura about like, oh, did you expect the response from fans of the Aqua possession basically? Which is what that means. Being Norded is being taken over by Xehanort. And when you have yellow eyes, gold eyes, and white hair, you're a vessel for Xehanort. That's what happened with Terra in the end of Birth by Sleep. Happens to Xigbar at the end of Birth by Sleep. Or is it end of Birth by Sleep, or is it end of 3D? When does that happen? I forget. It's a post-game cutscene, I think. No, it happens at the end of Birth by Sleep, yeah. That's when Aqua fights him. He's been Norded. So it happens a whole bunch. Larxene is shown to be under his control, obviously. That's what the whole organization's purpose is. I guess it's not obvious unless you've played every game. I'm so happy that, because I was talking to my cousin who's really into Assassin's Creed, and they announced Assassin's Creed Origins. Well, it kind of leaked, but they just showed more of it, and it's really confusing, or Odyssey. Did I say Origins? Because it takes place before Assassin's Creed Origins, but Origins is supposed to be the first Assassin's game, so how the fuck does this game work? And he's so confused. He's into the lore of Assassin's Creed, and it's just yeah, I don't know, I don't understand. This would be very frustrating if I gave a shit past the second one when they're lol, aliens did it. And I'm all right, I don't care. But like, if I would cared, I'd be like, this is really annoying. Why would they do this? And then like, but Kingdom Hearts has just been like, nope, fuck you. There are no brakes on this train. It is Crazy Town or bust. And it all has a pretty much concept, like kind of like understandable story, makes sense all the way. You kind of keep it together, but like there's a lot of games you have to balance and work through and figure out all. That's why I'm always so annoyed when someone like, oh, I only play 1 and 2, everything else is stupid, or like, oh, the beginning of 2 is so dumb. Like, why wouldn't I just play Sora or blah blah blah? And they have people have like all these. People always have a problem with something with Kingdom Hearts. Oh, I can't even, like, people don't, like, I don't even understand how to say the fucking DS game in Street Fighter 2. They don't know, what is that one? Why is it a weird number? Like, or like, this is just dumb or whatever. People, like, kind of get, like, weirdly and, like, shitty about it, which is annoying, obviously, when you're someone like me or half people I follow on Twitter who are like, fuck you, this game is for us, which it is. Kingdom Hearts 3 is pulling no punches. It is, like, people are, because like right now my Twitter is like people who are like, yo, this fucking aspect of lore detail, this is fucking hype, and then those exact same people retweeting other people going, what the fuck is this franchise? Because like if you're not keeping up, and if you're just like, oh, I could, fuck this part of it, or this game doesn't matter, this game isn't real, you're getting fucked right now. You're getting told to go fuck yourself by Nomura. He's like, nope, this is what I did, this is what I planned, this is what we're doing. This is the game. This is the franchise. Like, get on or off the crazy train, but it's not stopping. And I love that. I love how it's, like, actually rewarding, unlike apparently Assassin's Creed, where it's, like, kind of weirdly backwards. You're like, I don't understand how you do this, but I'm so happy that it's kind of paying off to pay attention to Kingdom Hearts. And, like, if you pay attention, it's there, and it like, works out, and it's cool. Big fan. Kingdom Hearts 3. All the trailers are super cool, but we'll get into that later. There are more. Let's see here. We got Bethesda. Is there anything I gave a shit about Bethesda? It's cool to see Andrew WK open the show, but I don't care about Rage at all, so I don't really care about that. I've yet to play a single Wolfenstein game, so I don't care about that too much. I haven't played Prey. They went into Fallout 76 a bit. They had a fucking phone Elder Scrolls game. I've never given a shit about any of them, so like whatever. And then, I don't, and they had Skyfield, which has nothing, just a name that was like leaked, but people are, it's like they're sci-fi, more, or space-based. I guess Fallout is sci-fi, so a space-based, game of that style is what people are saying. I don't know if it was ever confirmed or denied or what, but, yeah, so cool, but like there's nothing there. And then Elder Scrolls 6 was announced, but like, I don't really care about the Elder Scrolls series, so whatever. I enjoyed the show though. It was a little too long, but it was super casual. They just had news. If you're a super fan of any of these things, Doom got announced too. I forgot about that. So Doom Eternal, that's cool. Still haven't played the first Doom, but that's cool. I like the music a lot. If I ever am a professional wrestler or have a need for a theme song, it's going to be Rip and Tear, because that shit is hot. So dope. Oh, what a song. What a song. Good lord. Look, Rip and Tear from the Doom soundtrack, and prepare to fucking go, because it's lit. What else we got here? The Devolver Digital. Those are always hilarious and a good time. They have a really great little universe and a great host. It's all staged, and like they always, anytime they cut to the crowd, it's like movie theater stock footage of like crowds. It's amazing. They're the best. And they had like a fake cryptocurrency that you can literally buy, but in the whole thing they're like, don't buy this, it's worthless, but you can totally buy it. And I guess the value is random when you buy it, and then the value can fluctuate or like dramatically throughout the day. Like I think it was like at $100 when it started, like around when it started, and went to 150, then like 90, and like it bounced all over the place. That was hilarious. And then they really only announced one game, which looked delightful, which is Metal Wolf Chaos, getting a re-release. Which I think is an old Dreamcast game that's made by FromSoft. It looks ridiculous. I think it's like a mecha I don't even know. It's a mech game. I think that's like supposed to make fun of like George W. Bush or something. I don't know. It looked like a good time. Japan's take on Americans always delights me to no end. Good lord, I could never get enough of it. Metal Gear, Vanquished, apparently this, all about it. If there's a Japanese game that's like trying to do like American politics, sign me up. I'm so about it. It's so great. What else we got? All right, moving on to Square Enix. A lot of people are upset with this one. I'm okay with it. It was fine. Did what it had to do. Announcing a Final Fantasy XIV Monster Hunter World crossover. That shit's lit, son. I'm hella hype. Give me more. That's dope. I love both those games. Let's keep that going. Babylon's Fall. Just kind of teased a platinum game, so that's all you really got to do these days. You're like, hey, this game is by the people who did Bayonetta, and everyone's like, holy shit. So that's cool. More Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff. That one was only a slightly different trailer than the Xbox one. That had a Ratatouille in it, which I'm assuming is a summon, because the environment was so changed. Or it'll be like an Atlantica in 2, where it's just a world dedicated to a minigame. But that seems like weird, because Atlantica was kind of set up like canon-wise why it was like that. Because of Neptune having the trident again. Nothing can really get there because you can fully protect it. So if you're more just going there to hang out and catch up with old characters kind of thing. So I'm assuming it's a summon Ratatouille of some kind. Octopath Traveler got an announced date, which is cool. Super excited for that. I enjoyed the demo a bit. I didn't finish both campaigns. I just did the one. Because I was more curious about the play style, because it's like a weird. It's similar to what's that game? Bravely Default, where like you could like add to your attacks. It was super interesting, and once I started to get the feel for it, I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Because some of the bosses and just the enemies have like crazy high health, but you're like combining your attacks into itself and stuff to kind of make like an action make up for the lack of damage a basic attack would do, and it made sense once you got like some time with it and you like really toyed around with it, figure some stuff out. But it was not. It was starting to get really cool, and like having the full cast of 8, and I think you can customize it any way, and like they all have different things they can do that affect different areas. Like the one guy could like duel anyone, so you could get into a house that someone was standing in front of if you dueled and killed them, or not killed them, you just beat them in a battle. Or the other girl you could play in the demo, she could like add people to her party, and then like basically throw. Because she was like a dancer, she could like throw people at enemies or whatever. You know, it was a neat thing, and I think they all have a different thing they can do, and they all whatever. So it'd be kind of cool to like play around with all 8 of them. And I hope more or less that they like not every RPG does this. I kind of hope this one does it, where it's like when you're not in the party, they still level up, even if it's like way slower than everyone else, but they still gain some experience. So like. You can kind of switch around if you need to, or if it's a situation like Final Fantasy VI, and they're like, hey, you got to use every character now, including the ones you haven't used, it can get kind of squirrely, and then you have to like split the party up in a weird way and like try to make it work, and it's interesting, and it's like a fun thing, but it's not really, it's fun when it works, but it's really annoying when they spring it on you, like, haha, go fuck yourself, you're like, Jesus, no, I can't handle it, so that's weird, but hopefully they have a thing where like everyone's kind of leveling up together, so that, like if you're like, oh, I need this thing for this situation, it's not like a detriment to you. And I wonder how hard it is to like switch who's the lead character to do a thing, but it'll be cool. I think that's like a good way to like handle puzzles and like additional things they could do with that, which would be really fun. And then what else they announced here? Oh, Dragon Quest XI got a trailer. I think a date. No, it had a date. It already had a date. So yeah, but that game looks awesome. That game looks so fun, and like as I've talked on this with my ailment, my curse of having to play every game in a franchise before getting to the one I want to play, I probably won't have beaten every Dragon Quest game in time. I'm still on 4. 4 has a really slow and kind of annoying start, because you play as everyone in the party and then go back to the protagonist and then find everyone in the party, and it's really annoying to have like gone through some characters and like, I wouldn't even put you in my main party, and I gotta play as you, and like, oh my god, what is going on? And like they had some sizable stories, but we'll see. I think I'm still like chugging along doing stuff like that. But 11 looks awesome. 11 looks really good, and like the cool thing about 11 too is and I don't know if we're getting, So it's on PS4, 3DS, and Switch in Japan, I believe. Not PC. I think that's a thing for us. But each version comes, or like, wait, there's a thing you can get, like a Scroll of Resurrection. So then, like, if I bought it on Switch and I was playing on my PS4, I can use that code to then load up my save on another platform, which is fucking bananas, but it's totally doable. At least in Japan, it's doable. We'll see how it goes here. There's a whole kerfuffle about the Fortnite on Switch got announced, and you can't, if you have your Fortnite account linked to your PSN account, you can't play it on the other on your Switch. And like some people are like really pissed about that. I don't have my account attached to my PSN, so it's not like a thing I would even have, like run into. But that's kind of fucked. So we'll see. I know like PS4 has often been like the ones that cross their arms and like no cross-play for you. That would be dumb. So like we'll see. But who knows where that's gonna go? That's the future. We're still going through various ones here. We'll go to Ubisoft now. Beyond Good and Evil 2 got announced. Or not announced, but another trailer. With Jade, which is the protagonist of the first one, but I remember this one being announced as a prequel, so that's weird. I don't know how that works, but it does. So that's weird. And like all the characters knew who she was, so maybe they changed their mind. It is a sequel. I don't know. She seems like a bad guy. That's kind of cool. The Division 2 announced raids and an endgame, which surprised me. If the first one doesn't have that, that's crazy. That's absolutely insane. I don't know how anyone stuck around with that game. I know it like had some big update and everyone loved it. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is so cool." But sounds crazy. Cuz like that's just ridiculous. If you have an MMO, welcome to the School of Tom. Always release with raids and endgame support known. Don't just wing it. Never goes well. Have that shit planned out way ahead of time. What else though? Yeah, that was weird. They have Skull and Bones, which a lot of people are like cold on because you don't play, or you're primarily a ship doing ship things, and that is crazy to me as well. Because like people are like, oh well, I like Assassin's Creed 4, but the idea that I'm playing this game mostly as a ship is upsetting me. And a lot of people were like, oh, I want to play as a character. I can understand that to an extent, but like I don't get like I don't need that. If it wasn't there, I wouldn't be heartbroken. I would just be like, ah, damn, it'd be kind of cool if I had this thing, but whatever, you don't. So great. But they actually added that. There's a person you play as, you can walk around and do stuff, and then you go on the boat primarily. People are still like cold on it. I don't get what you like. What is it? What about Assassin's Creed 4 did you like so much that this isn't doing? Because for me, this game looks awesome. This is exactly what I want. It's coming to PC, I believe, and if it does, that's probably where I'd get it, because I just have more people that would like play on there, and it sounds like so much fun. Just like you're a pirate and you go and do these things and you bring in other crews, and like they have classes with the boats, which is kind of nice. So if you're like, oh, I want my boat to do this, or oh, my friend's boats do this, so I'll get a boat that does this, and you know, it's a boat. I imagine you could just buy another one if you need a weird thing for a weird situation or something. It seemed really cool. I'm really into this idea. Yeah, it just seems like it'd be a lot of fun. I don't think it's gonna be bad, but like it's probably just because I only like the boat part of Assassin's Creed 4, and I hate controlling the person in Assassin's Creed 4 because I hate controlling the characters in Assassin's Creed games. Because like, yeah, they're so awkward. They're so awkward. I don't know why they've always been. They've always been like strange as hell to just move your character from like one thing to another. And maybe not in the newer ones, because I think Origins is a vastly different like mechanically system, so maybe it's better. But like every Assassin's Creed game I've ever played has been just a nightmare to move the person around. That's why the boat thing was so nice, because the majority of the game is taking place on the boat, and I don't have to worry about running around. And then, but I've never beaten that game because I can't fucking stand playing as the person. So I just do all the boat stuff and then I stop. And it's weird. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Transference got a little bit more. That was announced a long time ago. That's the Elijah Wood game. That sounds okay. I don't know. I forget if it was I think it's VR primarily, but I don't know. The trailer was really cool and spooky, and it'd be kind of a cool movie. But if it's got to be a thing too, or a game too, that's cool. I'm fine with that. Star Fox being in Starlink, Nintendo and Ubisoft have a love relationship. They love each other. They just absolutely adore each other. It's kind of adorable that they constantly handshake with each other. If we don't see like a Rayman or a Rabbids in like a Smash game in the future, I would be kind of surprised because like that's so weird. How much they've like crossed over with each other. And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey, couldn't care less. You can play a male or a female, and they have like different stories that they can kind of do. I think, or maybe it's the same story, just you play as you. It's more RPG like, where you have like dialogue choices and stuff. But I hate controlling the people in Assassin's Creed. I don't want to play this game, and like it just seems whatever. I have not enjoyed Assassin's Creed since 4 because it was primarily a book. So I'll just play Skull and Bones. See if these no, but I'll play Skull and Bones. Same idea, different thing, you know. The PC show, I saw that Yakuza 0 and Kiwami are going to PC, and then Sable was a cool looking game, but other than that, I couldn't care less about the PC gaming show. Cause yeah, silly. I mean, I love Day 9, he's a great guy, but I'm not gonna watch this show for a long time. Like, the nice thing about the Devolver show is a half hour, so you just kind of like put it on, you're like, alright, this is just ridiculous and wild, and is going on for a half hour. We don't need more than this. Yeah, I don't really know much about what else was really shown. I'm looking at the list here of stuff this website has, but I don't even care to click on any of these little links. I try to explain what some of these look like, but whatever. So Sony had a thing, as they do. It was kind of cool. I liked a lot of the games they were showing. The gameplay footage for like Last of Us 2 looks super dope. Very excited for The Last of Us 2. I enjoyed the first one. It was a good time. He plays Ellie, I think, primarily this one, or what I've heard some people theorizing is that you're gonna jump around in time, because the trailer kind of had a bit of that, where like Ellie's with her girlfriend, and then cuts to like the day she just had, where she's like sneaking through this town and fight like really brutally murdering these dudes, or like shooting the one dude in the kidney and he died immediately. That was weird. She hit a guy in like the kidney and he like fell over and just died. Didn't even scream. Didn't even like, he's just dead. I'm like, I don't think that's how an arrow would work, but all right. Yeah, it's pretty brutal. There's a pretty brutal like scene, but I kind of like it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of the press has been like, oh my god, so brutal, but I kind of like that it's going there, because like, I don't know, you don't really see that a lot in a game, and like it kind of adds to the intensity of this world being so fucked. So like, it won't, like the beginning of the trailer, like she's like walking through the woods and she's a dude get like disemboweled and his guts are hanging while he's like he's like strung up somewhere. Like that was pretty intense. And then she like brutally like hits all these people. I just kind of wish that because when she hits people, they get fucked up. But like at one point, the demo person got hit with her like something big, like a sledgehammer or something, in like Ellie's shoulder. But she can still like draw her bow, and I kind of wish she like lost that ability. Like she just like shattered her shoulder, and she's really, that's not good. Like kind of make the brutality go both ways, as opposed to just her being like this savage murderer. But like certain hits that she takes can really fuck her up. I think that'd be kind of a cool trade-off. I don't know if that's going to be a thing though. I don't know how they're going to play that off. And like it'd probably be too annoying, because like taking a lot of damage or like losing the ability to play fucking sucks. Like I'm playing the new God of War right now. It's okay. I know a lot of people are like super hype about it and they fucking love it. And like, yeah, it's cool. And I do think it's a neat idea and everything, but like, it's very slow. And like, I definitely did myself a disservice going from 3, which is a pretty fun game, to this one and being like, oh, okay, wait, we're going to walk around a lot. Okay, that is a different experience. I have to retune my brain right now to what I'm about to experience, because this is not what 3 just was, which was fucking high-flying action, wild, zany murder of gods, like playground. Just so much crazy shit going on in 3. And like 3 is actually a lot of fun. 3 was like the realization of that first trilogy's like combat system. Like, oh, this is what we were trying to do this whole time. Here it is. It's been balanced, it's been tuned. We figured it out. This is really cool. It's a lot of fun. The story's nonsense, but that's because, you know, I would have said because Kratos is a horrible character, but Kratos is actually pretty cool in the 4th one, but the gameplay sucks. And it doesn't seem like they can ever make that bond of like fun game, fun story, maybe not fun, but like a good story, fun game. And it's either they do one or the other. So kind of annoying. Although there's a part in the middle of the new one where like they just do this really cool sequence, and I was like, no, all right, this is fucking dope. Everything that's going on right now is really cool. And then they gave me a thing that I was like, all right, this thing, because I was like catching up in like upgrades, like I had to like upgrade everything my kid can do. I'd upgrade almost everything I could do, and I was like, this is weird. Like I'm looking at the trophy list, I'm like halfway through this. How am I possibly this far along? And then like they start to unravel a little bit more detail about like what the latter half of the game is you're using to like upgrade and discover stuff. Okay, here it is. This makes way more sense. And like figuring that out and like doing this whole section of like you go to hell, and like there's the part where the witch lady's talking to him like so he says something about hell. Have you heard of it or something, or have you been there? And he's like, not this one. And it's like, oh, that's adorable, because every God of War game previously had him going to Hades and then like crawling his way out of it. So this is kind of like a different thing. It was a pretty neat idea. But yeah, a lot of the boss fights suck, and like a lot of them is just like solved by like using Spartan Rage, and just like, oh no, I'm just gonna go to Punch Town and end this game. Like, it's not hard. It is not a difficult game. Holy cow. I have done so much of that. I've fought in like, I think level 8 might be the cap, or they just had skulls because they were too high a level, but I fought in a lot of the purple health bar, like maximum difficulty health bars, and sure, I might die a few times, but you're learning the fight that you're about to do, and what you got to do, who you got to focus first, that kind of stuff. So like, but I've done every single one of them. The only one I've skipped was the one with the 2 witches that popped out, because I still don't know how to fight them. I don't know if it's like I need a new like a thing, or I'm doing something wrong. Because they vanish a lot, and they can do a lot of damage if you don't keep them. Like you can almost like stun lock a lot of characters, but they can stun lock you, which is my point originally coming back to this. Is you can get like stun locked like super hard, and like I was in some fight, and some like they can hit you like 3 times or 4 times in a row with like their hit string, and like you can't act out of it unless I'm just not hitting the frame that like I can like shield, like parry it with my shield, or act out of it in some way. It's like a weird like fighting game thing where I'm being like punished for doing nothing, as opposed to like a fighting game thing where you're being punished for doing an action. Like I'm just standing here and this enemy is wailing on me unless I go to Spartan Rage, and like I lose all control of my character, and I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm just being punched in the face a bunch right now. And I don't know if it was like, because there were 2 guys fighting me in this exact moment I'm thinking of happened, and it was like the one guy was doing the normal like, oh, you're getting hit like 3 or 4 times, whatever it is. And then another guy came over, and I don't know if that guy hit in the one frame I had open, or like the frame window I had open to react, so that I was continuously being just beaten to shit. And like I've like become way more powerful, so these enemies were pathetic, and I wasn't gonna die from this, but it was really fucking annoying to just lose control of my character. So in The Last of Us 2, if they do a thing where like, Ellie gets hit in the shoulder with a sledgehammer and you can't use your bow all of a sudden, that probably sucks. So that's probably why they don't do it. But it looks cool otherwise. That's like my only one complaint from that trailer. I was like, I just wish like her taking this really crazy hit would, it would just go both ways. She's doing a bunch of damage, like hard damage to these enemies, and then they can do that same thing to you. I showed Ghost of Tsushima. I said that wrong, but whatever. That looks really pretty. That was really pretty. A little slow, but like it's kind of cool, because I think it's supposed to try to be like an old samurai movie where it's a lot more slow, like a 7 Samurai, where it's like super. What is that movie? That movie's like 3-4 hours long or something in the full cut. So like a very slow paced, meticulous, like adventure or whatever. It was neat, It was a neat thing to see, this like very slow thing, and there's running on roofs because it's a sucker punch game, but it seemed really pretty. Like walk through these fields and all this shit. It was really, really cute to like, or pretty to look at. They showed Control, which is the new Remedy game. They always do cool shit. Other people have made like Max Payne and Quantum Leap. Is that true? It sounds true. Let's go with that. They did the Quantum Leap thing, so that's kind of cool. But it was like a reveal trailer, so there's like nothing there. They showed Death Stranding gameplay, and it is the first time I've ever seen a Kojima game where I'm like, nope, not even a little. I couldn't care less about this anymore. Like, the hype is gone after you showed me this game in action. This was so boring to watch. It's just Norman Reedus and I think another character wearing spacesuits walking around a fucking field, like through a mountain. It was so boring. Nothing was happening. They weren't showing, like, is it a stealth game? Is it an action game? Like, what am I doing? Am I just walking? Why aren't you just making a movie if this guy's just gonna walk everywhere? Walking isn't fun in games, people. Can we stop doing this? Like, it worked in The Last of Us because it was a very brooding and emotional world with, like, this father-daughter relationship, and, like, they used it to their advantage. They kind of try to do that in God of War. It kind of works, but it's also like The Last of Us did this. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen this before, and it was really well done there, so you have a very high bar to compare it to. So let's stop fucking doing walking. Like, it's so dumb. It's so boring. If you're forced to walk somewhere, it's awful. Like, it's just not fun. Don't do it. So Death Stranding looks super boring. Super fun, which is a hard thing for me to say as a huge Kojima fan, but it looked really boring, and I don't want anything to do with it. Good lord. Yeah, so they have another thing they announced there was the Kingdom Hearts all in one package. That's cool as fuck. So if you definitely haven't picked up anything, here's at least one box, maybe one disc. That seems crazy though. That'd be one disc. I don't know what you can put on a disc in PS4 things because it's partially downloaded anyway. So maybe it's on one disc, but it has every Kingdom Hearts game ever, including the movies and their game movies from 1.5, 2.5, 2.8. So that's, how many games is that? 4, 5.5? Because in 2.8, they count the Aqua thing as a game, but it's really a tech demo for 3. So I'm going to count it as a half game, because you can beat it in 3 hours. And I was like taking my time and looking for treasure chests, and I beat it in 3 hours, so I wouldn't say that's a game. It doesn't have a platinum either, so like even Sony doesn't really consider it a game. It's kind of just a demo. So you get 5.5 games on a disc, and then three movies. Yeah, right? Because Street Fighter Over 2 is a movie, Recode is a movie, and the phone game thing is a movie, but that is so important. It's so weird. Like, it has almost nothing, because it takes place, it's back cover, so it's the information. So in the phone game, I should probably back up. In the phone game, for Kingdom Hearts, you are one of the previous, like, Keyblade wielders that ultimately led to the Keyblade War. So when you're birthed by sleep and you go to the Keyblade graveyard, you're one of the people that wielded one of those Keyblades. That was the original concept. They've slightly tweaked it in a way, and I think the Japanese one's a little bit more clear, because the Japanese version and the American version, or the Western version, release on different schedules. So there are people who fan translate the Japanese stuff, and I usually keep up with that. I haven't lately, because they update so infrequently, and a lot of times when they update, it's just like more story quests where you do nothing. You're like, this is a waste of time. Why do I play this game? So the Japanese one's ahead and has a more understandable storyline, where like in the American version, they're cutting sections out, I think due to responses from the Japanese audience or something. I don't know. There's like, because like what's supposed to happen is the Keyblade War is supposed to have already happened in the Japanese version. It did, and your character dies, but then re-wakes up in Enchanted Dominion and is like, okay, I guess I'm alive. And then the game as a playable thing keeps going, and then we keep cutting to the new what the fuck they call them? The Dandelions leaders, I guess. Because they have the union leaders. There's the 5 unions that are all fighting for the light, and it's this war for the light that creates the Keyblade War. And those 5 people are the main characters of this movie on 2.8, the 2.8 disc, and they all have their things. And there's one of them is a traitor, and they're trying to figure out who the traitor is. But the big thing that's important is there's actually a 6th union leader who doesn't ever actually have a union, so I don't even know why they would call him that. I mean, it might not even be called the union leader, but he's the 6th guy, and he has a box. So if you rewatch any of those trailers and you see any character going, I'm looking for a box, they're looking for this box from this movie. And like this thing is kind of important for the whole story of this whole thing. We don't know what's in the box. The guy who's the Master of Masters, who's the goddamn best character from Kingdom Hearts ever, he doesn't really translate well on the phone game because it's all text-based. But in the movie, it's voiced by the guy who plays Noctis. I forget his name all of a sudden. And he's just having a blast. He's having a blast with this character. He's so fun. And yeah, he's absolutely great. and the character's just like having a great time. He's like weirdly like cheery, and like it's like kind of weird. You're like, what the fuck? You're like, because he keeps talking about, he's like this book of prophecies which like tells you what's going to happen. And he's like, oh yeah, the world's totally gonna end, and I'm probably gonna disappear forever, but like, yo, it's gonna be great. And everyone's like, what the fuck? And all like the union leaders are very confused. He keeps like giving information to them individually and like in secret, and it's confusing all of them, and they're trying to keep up. And so he's a goddamn delight. He's probably like somewhere, he's probably one of the major villains of the whole franchise, but like as of right now, it's Xehanort's the big problem. Yeah, he gives the sixth guy what is no name, which is the name of Xehanort's Keyblade, and it's like, it has my eye in it, so I'm always going to be watching, and all that shit. So, Xehanort's Keyblade, this box, all had this huge thing going on for it, and that's all in that movie. But the phone game itself has like none of this information, because it's supposed to be like the back cover, so it's just like the stuff the union leaders are doing, because you're not doing this, but it's so weird. Because like now, the new union leaders are like Ventus from Birth by Sleep, one of the playable characters, is in this thing that takes place 100 years before that game even happens, or a certain, I think it's 100. I've always been under the understanding it's 100 years in the future or the past, but it might be a little bit earlier. But it's definitely so far ahead that Ventus shouldn't be like the same-ish age that he is. So that's kind of crazy. Who knows? And then the guy who I thought was turned down as, I think Nomura said it wasn't, but it looks and has a name that would make it sense if it's the Marluxia somebody. Somebody is the terminology for you're not a nobody and you're not a heartless. It's like the person version, I guess. The names are kind of silly. I honestly will die by the concept that Kingdom Hearts is not complicated, just the terms are stupid and the names for people are stupid. If they just were all like John, Bill, and normal shit, normal things that you already have an association with, it would be so much easier to follow. Like the concept of a soul is what this universe calls a heart, and the soul is a different thing. Like that kind of shit, super complicated if you don't sit back and like try to map it out real quick in your head. So it's not that hard to follow. It's just a lot of dumb names and a lot of dumb things happening. But like if you kind of break it down and like it would be a little bit easier to like stomach, but it's still fun to follow. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3, super dope, super excited for everything. Yeah, it's great. I'm so excited. I'm so fucking excited. It's probably not going to come out in January, though. It's probably going to be delayed, because that's what Square Enix does, but if maybe they'll prove me wrong. Who knows? And then lastly, they showed more Spider-Man, which looked really fucking cool. And then Resident Evil 2 Remake got announced. Might have a fixed camera mode, might not. I don't know. I can't really figure out what the fuck they're trying to say. It's really weird. They might be making it so that it's not, and it's primarily played like 4, which kind of makes sense because it's another Leon game, but also Resident Evil 2 original is apparently a masterpiece. I've never played it. I've only watched people play it. And the way it works is very interesting, so we'll see how that all plays out ultimately, but it sounds like it'd be kind of cool. Who knows? I don't know. I still gotta get through the first Resident Evil remake. It's so hard, though. I'm so bad at the game. But I digress. All right, moving on to, finally, Nintendo. Big news. Pretty much the only biggest news that really applies to me is Smash Bros. Ultimate got announced. They did talk about Pokemon Let's Go, but that can go fucking die in a fire. Did I talk about that in this show? I don't think I did. Maybe I did? The dumb idea. I don't want it. No, I didn't talk about it on the show, did I? I didn't know. I hate it. I don't like it at all. It is super. It is so dumbed down. Like I can handle a dumbed down Pokemon game. Sun and Moon exists. I played through both of them, both Ultra and regular. Fine, that's all right. I can handle it. It's frustrating and I hate it, but we'll get through it. That's okay. I'll live. But here we come with Pokemon Let's Go, and it looks awful. They are cutting out full mechanics. There's no of all the post game stuff that you never had to know. None of that applies to you. If you don't know what I'm saying when I say IVs, EVs, and breeding terms, and I'm talking about like breeding egg groups and abilities, if you don't know what any of that means, it's fine. You've gotten through every Pokemon game since. You don't need to know that. That's for me crazies. That's for the crazies like me. I don't know why I said it like that. It's like crazy people like me who care about that stuff. I get to know about that. And that's becoming a bigger group of the player base. People are starting to discover this and understanding it, but you don't have to know it. You don't have to. Nothing's going to hurt you if you don't learn that. It doesn't matter. Doesn't need to be for you if you don't want it to be for you. You can still enjoy it. I enjoyed Pokemon for like 8 years before I discovered that. Maybe is that wrong? That's probably wrong. No, maybe it is right. At least 10. I think, right? When did Diamond and Pearl come out? 2004? I don't. Okay, here we go. Here's the platinum release. Diamond and Pearl. So, came out in 2007, and I played the game for the first time in. I forget when the first one came out. When the first one come out in North America? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, because that would be for something different. Wow, Gen 1 was 748 days. It's a weird stat for Bulbapedia to keep, but it exists and I'm okay with that. Debut, here it is. 98. So almost 10 years. I never needed any of that information. It was kind of poorly defined back then, but and played vastly different. I've talked before, I think, on here about how Gen 1, 2, and 3 are so different and like almost unplayable if you have like understanding of the newer systems. Yeah, like you don't need to know it. I didn't know it for a long time. And I know kids who don't need to know it. And it doesn't need to be, you don't need the hand-holdiness, because I barely knew what half the words meant when I first played Red, and I got through it. Like, you can do it. Kids are smart. Kids can figure it out. And like, that was the fun thing about it too. When I didn't understand something, I had my cousin I could go to. I go, what does this mean? And how did you do this? What was that? And it like built a bond there. Today you got the internet, but like, everyone has some kind of connection to this franchise. So like, as long as you're not a dick and some kid comes up to you and goes like, hey, I don't understand how this works. And they go, it's fucking Pokemon, it's stupid. And then like, you're a bad person, don't hang out with that person, child. But like, it can be done. Like there's ways to get that information. There's ways to go through things, it's not necessary. And today I saw a tweet, I think I retweeted it, or maybe I just liked it, I forget, but it was like, the little guy that like is the front of every gym, that if you talk to in the earlier games, he'll tell you like what that gym leader is weak to. If you don't know, he'll let you know. The information is there, guys. It's right. One of the games, I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was X and Y. No, maybe it was Black and White 2. One of the games that was kind of newish, the guy that stood in the front of gyms would like step out in front of you and be like, yo, dude, like have that conversation like forced on you, was totally fine. Because I actually kind of like that idea of like, there's this guy who travels to each gym as like the ref, and he tells you things, he keeps you up to date of like this different information. And he would tell you, this is what this gym does, and this is what this gym's gonna do. And I just saw today that one of the things from Let's Go, he will not let you enter the gym unless you come with a water or a grass type. You have to go and take care of this. You have to go find a weakness thing to Brock, or he won't let you in. That's not to help children. That's to help fucking dipshit adults who came from Pokemon Go, who don't care about to just learn anything. Not even learn a system of a game. They literally could not care less to learn about anything. Like, he can do what he's always done and go, this gym leader is weak against blank, blank, blank. And you go, great. You could even, if you even wanted to, you could go and you can find X on route whatever, and then they go and take care of that. Like, if you really want to handhold them a little bit more, let them know where they can go find the thing that can do that. Don't fucking hit the brakes. It's so stupid. I'm so annoyed with Pokemon Let's Go. I just can't understand why it exists, but so fucking be it. You can get Mew in it, but they hand out Mew every year. So, like, Mew is not special anymore. Then that's Mario Party. I would rather die. I hate Mario Party so much, but I think I've talked about this on the show. That game is for nightmare people, and leads me to die. I hate it. But then Smash Bros. Ultimate got announced. Every character, that's pretty fucking rad. Any character that's ever shown up in the franchise is coming back. Crazy for the third party stuff like Cloud, Ryu, and Bayonetta. It's crazy that they're able to continue to lock that down. And Snake. I just assumed that was Dunzo. Like, that was just licensing hang-ups, and that's why that stuff doesn't repeat. No, to have every character that's really cool. Even if they're garbage like Pichu, or, whatever, like, it's still cool if they're able to manage it. Like, that's an awesome thing to be able to do. Squid Kids announced, or Inkling, whatever they call it, and then Ridley finally got announced. I have a friend who's been petitioning for years to get Ridley in the game. He has the username Ridley is not too big on so many websites to just petition, being like, argue with kids about, yes, Ridley can make it in the game, and this is why. And oh my god, he was so happy when I like, as soon as I saw Ridley, I texted him like, yo, your dick just exploded, and he was like, dude, I'm so happy, I'm crying right now. It's like, he's been trying for over 10 years, like 12 years or something, like since Melee, has been trying to get this fucking character in this game. So, super happy that Ridley's in it. He looks so good. Ridley looks sick, dude. Like, almost too good for that game. But they sped it up a bit. They've nerfed a lot of defensive options, which is crazy. Never thought that would happen. Like, it kind of just seems like they kind of listened. It's kind of weird. But it's funny. I just spit. It's funny. I was just sitting there watching the trailer. I'm like, oh, cool. They added, like Mewtwo was like the first like kind of character they had in there. I'm like, oh, I guess he was in Smash 4, so they have the assets and all that stuff. That's kind of cool. Whatever, sure. And they're going through it and they're talking about some mechanics. They're talking about some characters they're adding, and they go, and directional air dodges. I'm like, motherfucker, this game's gonna be amazing because you need like directional air dodges. One, they have, for the reason they set it so that you can like it adds to your recovery because you can like air dodge like to the stage and then grab the ledge and whatever, which helps a lot of characters. It's in Melee and PM. Like, it's a big thing in there. Is it in Brawl? I don't think it is. I don't remember. I haven't played a lot of Brawl, so I'm not very familiar with the Brawl system. But it's, it's a way for you to, like, just push yourself over for a second. And it can be used, like, in kind of cool ways. Not just, like, push yourself to the ledge, but, like, for example, you're above the ledge trying to land, and instead of getting, like, hit again, you can, like, fake your landing and air dodge through them, and then you're closer to center stage. You get a little bit more stage control. So if they committed to a bigger attack, you have time to like really recover, and it like kind of adds a little bit more to the mind games aspect of like trying to recovery and all that stuff, as opposed to just walking closer and hitting up B like Smash 4 had it. But it also can lead to wave dashing being back of the game, and apparently it's in there, but it's closer to wave landing. And I've watched a video of like a side view of a TV of like Armada playing it, and he was trying to like talk to like, he was chilling dude, showing that it can kind of be done. And like, but they were talking like, and dash dancing can kind of be done, and certain characters have better dash dancing. So what it might become is the characters that can do those movement options and do them well are going to be the best characters. That's just like, that's kind of just what happens with like Melee. The characters that have better movement options just became better characters. Not even just because like, and it's because they almost just get more developed because more people want to play them, because it's easier to just have a control of your character as then like, whatever. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens, how they do certain things. It doesn't really look like a Smash 5, but it's slightly updated, so maybe it technically could be counted as Smash 5. I don't know. Doesn't matter, I guess. It seemed really cool. I just thought it was really weird that, like, I was, like, talking to a bunch of people on Facebook and stuff about it, and they're all like, oh my god, this character's in there. I'm so glad they all the characters, this stage is here. Like, they have the stage thing where you can do it Omega, where it's all battle, or, Final Destination, or it's the Battlefield mode, which is fucking awesome. It's such a great addition. Like, let's just make it fucking, give me the platform option if I'm a character that wants platform options, Because, like, there are certain stages, like, the Midgard stage. I just like that stage for the music, and, like, sure, Omega mode's fine or whatever, but, like, if I could have platforms, too, that'd be even amazing. Oh, my God, they gave me platforms. It's great. And I saw also today on Twitter that there's an option to, turn off stage hazards, so you can play stages with like unique platform placements but no stage hazards, which is fucking crazy. If that's real, that's going to like the fucking competitive thing is going to be absolute fucking bananas. I don't know how you determine stages you're allowed to play. I guess stages that aren't walk-offs would pretty much be the only requirement. If you can walk off the stage, it is not playable, and otherwise everything's fair game. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. I don't know how the game is played right now with Omega. I don't know how that works. It used to be if you banned Final Destination, you banned all Omega stages. So I don't know if that's still how it works, because I haven't played competitive Smash 4 in a long time. But Very excited for a lot of the small changes in there, a lot of mechanic small changes, and like just like different things that make the game a little more like fun that way. So I don't know, it looked like it'd be a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying what I've seen from that. But I definitely think my game of the show was Kingdom Hearts, obviously. Even though it's kind of cheating because like the release date wasn't today or wasn't at the show. But we got 3 trailers, and even though one of the trailers is technically barely any different, it's like one fucking frame of like new information, you know, but I had a lot of fun just watching those trailers. I've seen them all several fucking times, and like, it's so cool. It's so fun. I love it. Love it so much. I got a new phone case. I gotta get my iPhone 8, because my, I could have gotten an iPhone 10, but like, I'm not made of money. And like my phone just stopped working. Like, it just didn't get service anymore. And like, I took it to the iPhone store because I took it to AT&T. I'm like, what up? Is this you? Because it's a service problem. And they're like, nope. So I took it to Apple, and they were like, oh, yep, this shit just happens to some phones. Primarily with iPhone 7. What, I have 6? So yeah, primarily iPhone 7s, but, you know, it's on a 6 right now. So we'll look and see what we can do. And shit was dead. So I had to get a new one. And I got a little, my phone case is the start screen from Kingdom Hearts 2. With like him in the water with the popsicle stick Sora, and it looks so sick. I love this fucking phone case. I just look at it sometimes like, oh yeah, the best game ever made. So I'm a little biased in terms of what my game of the show is, because I'm just excited that Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out, and they're just making it easier and easier. Honestly, I already own 2 copies of the PS3 version of 2.5, so I'm probably gonna buy the Kingdom Hearts like all-in-one collection. I forget what I think they're calling it, the all-in-one collection, or I forget what they're calling it, but. Super hype about that. You gotta be kidding me if I'm not getting out. I'm all about that shit. I'm all about it. I just have like every version of this game. I love it so much. That franchise is so fun. Is there anything else I want to talk about? No, I guess not. We'll keep this very video game centric. I had seen Hereditary, but we'll keep it for another time maybe. Yeah, video games are cool. Video games are happening, except for Pokemon. Fuck Pokemon. Everything else is great. Kingdom Hearts is the best. I think they seem to be listening because they had the little event thing recently where a bunch of people got to play it and then comment directly to developers about what they thought. And they said that, like the developer said, they watched the videos that critique the franchise. They watched the people like do speed runs of it. They're trying to make this game work for everyone. And I very much fall in the camp of like, I want it to be a good, snappy action game that has the cool abilities that you can upgrade and get to and do all that shit. And because like I've said, I think I've said it on here before at least, critical mode is the only reason to play this game. Like if you're not playing on critical, and like I understand if you've never played before, play it at normal, get your feet wet, understand the systems, that's totally fine. And the only reason I say don't play on beginner is because if you actually enjoy yourself and you want to see the secret video at the end, you literally could not unlock it on beginner, so play on normal. Beginner adds like nothing except for just it gives you like items that makes it so that you can like boost your stats, but you will not need those. Yeah, like critical is just the way to go though. It's just you really understand the systems, you'll have way more fun of like it's not actually that much harder. Like it's weird, and maybe it's just because I'm very like comfortable with the franchise at this point, but once you get your understanding of movement and you just understand your abilities that you have, like, and it's weird too. If you play on critical, you're gonna see things like in Birth by Sleep, Terra has like he has his dash, and then he has like another dash thing he can do like out of the dash, and it'll increase your distance you traveled. And the second one has a hitbox, but it has a crazy cooldown time. And like between the startup of that and the cooldown of that final dash, you can get hit. And it sucks. Like there's no reason to have it. So like you just don't want it. You know, you're trying not to use this. So like you will just what looks like a great addition of like, oh, it makes me move better and like I'm having a good time. Like I can move faster and stuff like that. Critically, you're like, oh, this is garbage. This is an absolute terrible fucking ability. Why would anyone use this? And it's cool. I don't know. I like it. I like that where you're kind of like unpacking everything and you're like, oh, okay, this is how this works and this is how this works. Okay, interesting. So I recommend Critical, but Kingdom Hearts is the best thing ever. Last of Us looks cool. Spider-Man looks cool. Honestly, every game they showed at Sony, I'm like super down for, except for like Call of Duty. But the big ones, you know, they all seem really cool. Looking forward to Octopath. And is that everything? Yeah, I guess that's everything. E3 is cool. A lot of people are kind of like, oh, this one sucked, or this thing. I just had a lot of fun. I had a good fucking time. I enjoyed myself. Yeah, looking forward to all the video games. There's like way too many good things rolling out. Like, the problem I'm having right now is figuring out when I'm playing everything, because there's just too much cool shit. So that's a good problem to have. Yeah, E3 was fun. I enjoyed my time watching everything. Took some time off from work, because I actually haven't taken a vacation since last January, and I was like, oh shit. And I'm like, well, E3's here. I might as well take like the time off to watch the press conferences and stuff. So I did that. So, yeah, it's good times. I enjoyed myself. Hire me if you want. I can do things. Oh, goodness. Is that everything? I think so. I think that's all. That's all she wrote. That's the full E3 recap from Your Brain on Tom. Holla at your boy. Yeah. Good times for all. Enjoy video games and love and kisses.